Hey all, welcome to the first video of True North Bonsai. My name is Matt, and today we'll be defoliating and wiring my Chinese elm bonsai. Here's a picture of my bonsai just 2 years ago. There's a couple reasons why you'd want to defoliate a tree. Main reasons would be to encourage backbudding. It's also a big help in wiring, allowing you to see the inner branch structure and map out your ramification. It can also help reduce leaf size, and with proper lighting, reduce node spacing. My goal here is to remove the weak inner branching and set the pads for future development. You can see I still left some of the juvenile foliage on. It helps the plant get some photosynthesis and not be completely weakened. Also note, I do not recommend defoliating a weak or sick tree as it can result in its demise. Okay, let's speed this up. You know what, let's just use some movie magic. You can now see the inner structure of the tree. We got a bit of a bird's nest growing, which is totally fine, but if not taken care of, it can really make the tree unbalanced. I'm clipping any weak, upward, or inner facing growth that I don't plan on wiring. And when you are wiring, make sure you're not using too big or thick of a wire, and to always use the 2-branch method. You want to always anchor to another branch. Take your time, there's no rush in this process. When wiring, try to keep your wire firm to the tree but not strangling the branch. Also try to keep the wraps around a 45-degree angle. The Chinese elm happen to wrap perfectly between the lateral buds. This will be the new leaves pushing in about 2 to 4 days. When finishing your wraps, finish your wraps from the underside, wrapping around up. It helps support the branch and hide the wire when you trim it. As you can see, this branch is thicker. I'm taking the small piece of wire I'm using to see if the wire bends or if the branch moves with the wire. If your wire bends easily against the branch, step up a half size. I'm normally using 1 millimeter, but here I step up to 1.5 millimeter. That way I know it has sufficient holding power for the branch. Another thing to note is not only can you move the branch left, right, up, and down, but you can also twist it. So I have branches growing down and up, but I'm actually twisting this so that I get more branches laying flat. So remember, you can also twist your branches to help ramify as well. Hopefully that makes sense, but you can see what I'm doing in the video here. As you can see, we have a pad now that will nicely ramify over the next upcoming growing season. I live in Canada, so technically mine grow all year under lights when it's cold, but they do slow down quite a bit. Here you can see we have multiple branches coming out of one area. The rule of thumb is if there's 3 branches, you'd want to cut the middle one to create a Y. Or if you have a direction in mind, you can just leave one and let it gain vigor. If you leave multiple branches coming out of one area, it'll most likely get inverse taper and become unsightly. In a later video, we'll go into what ramification is and how to gain compact growth. Here I have negative space, so while the branches are young and flexible, you can move, bend, and manipulate the branches to take up some of that negative space to create a more fuller look. And here's a look at one whole area done. So now we have a full flat pad, technically 2 pads, ready to go, grow, and be ramified. Earlier when I was talking about being unbalanced, this section really shows it. You can see the right hand is way bigger and more vigor than the left hand. So here I'm going to trim the right side so that it matches the left side's vigor. That'll create a more even balance throughout the tree. Again, I want to reiterate, take your time when making cuts. If you make the wrong cut, it's not the end of the world, but it can set you back 6 months to years. So really think about where you want to cut and how you want your tree to look in the end. Almost all trees push their energy to the top canopy, and the Chinese elm is no exception. It loves putting out shoots at the top. So here I'm trying to thin it down so I don't get too much reverse taper. This tree already has a little bit that I'm hopefully going to hide with new branching, but just clean it up and try and keep it a little thin on top because it'll always put more there. And here's the final product. I'm really excited to see how this tree will look in the next couple months. Hopefully I'll get a couple buds to come out of the main trunk line. I'm really happy with the branch placement, and a lot of it didn't even need to be wired, just cleaned up. I'll post a follow-up video on here once the buds have popped. Thanks for watching the first episode of True North Bonsai, and if you want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button.